Hey, Bonnie Serratore. Um, I wanted to talk a little bit about intuition and psychic abilities. Okay, so in my life, um, I didn't really know that I was psychic. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that. Like growing up, I would see things, hear things, feel things, sense things, but I didn't associate it with having any kind of psychic abilities. And then it was in 1984 that I actually took a psychic class from someone when I lived in Nevada City, and it was so awesome because on some level, what it did for me, it was like all of a sudden I had the means, a way of actually looking at energy, you know, and it wasn't just looking at energy, just any energy, but what I began to discover and learn was, we could look at someone and we could get information about them in order to help them, for whatever issues they've got or whatever's happening in their lives. And for me, it really wasn't about, um, kind of like, I just want to know my future, that kind of thing. It was, for me, it was really more about healing, consciousness, healing, awareness. And in reality, that was kind of like the springboard that really got me moving in the direction of doing what I do now. Seriously. So I'm thinking, I mean, I know if I hadn't opened up and started intentionally developing and opening and getting my own abilities to be up and running or working, I don't think I would have been doing what I do and what I do. It's spiritual acceleration wouldn't be here. So for me, here's the thing. Everyone is intuitive. Okay, everyone. You're born with those abilities to sense energy. Over time, we forget about it, or we bury it, or we don't develop it. Because we learn through our own families or life that it's not a good thing, or it's a scary thing, or just a negating of it. So for me, it was like it really put me in a direction that here I am, since, how many years later is that? 80s, 90s, 20s, 45, no, not quite, 30 something years later. So for me, it was like a game changer. So, I know that a lot of people have concerns or worries or thoughts or wondering if they have those kinds of abilities. And again, you're born sensitive. Everyone is. So for me, it's like it really makes a difference. Like I can look at different things in my world. Like if I'm wondering about, like maybe I'm looking at a car. Let's just say I'm looking at two cars or whatever. If I start paying attention, I can feel my own knowing. But I'm more than that too. I can actually check in and feel and sense the energy of the vehicles. I can look at the energy, feel the energy of the people that are selling the vehicles. So for me, what it does is it gives us kind of a different way to discover, a different way to figure things out. Okay. It's like well, you don't know this, but um when my critter died, when I lived in Colorado, this was in 2020, and when she died, it was just that deep knowing that just dropped in and just said to start driving. So I did. I took off in my vehicle, drove for 3 weeks, and did lots of things, and got back home and left again because I wasn't quite ready. But it all had to do with that knowing, the guidance, the inner knowing that happened for me, which also gets developed when we start really developing and opening up our channels, opening up our senses and abilities. So I just feel that if people are, struggling and just need some inner knowing or guidance, or rather than looking out there to somebody else, when we start really learning how to pay attention to our own selves, our own knowing, our own intuition, then it just serves us so much better. It's like then we're not dependent on somebody else. But another thing is not everybody has our best interest, if you know what I mean. And like they might think they do, But, oftentimes people are, giving us information based on their own experiences or, things that they have learned rather than what is your true need? What kind of help need and guidance are you needing? What kind of support are you needing? So I like the idea of being able to depend on myself, trust myself, with my own abilities and senses. So, I just kind of wanted to put that out there, bring awareness, and so and also too, if anybody's here, like I can see Nan, it looks like Nancy's here. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Nikki's here. Nikki. Yeah. So like Nikki's saying that her mom used to say she was far too sensitive. My mom did the same thing. Oh my goodness. My mom was always telling me, Bonnie, you're too sensitive. But the truth is, is my whole being was sensitive. I was constantly sensing energy, but I didn't understand things prior to my own learning how to, see energy, you know what I mean? So I learned how to really open that third eye. I started practicing all the time with people and giving information, of course, and then it just got better and better. And then pretty soon I could really feel my own true knowing, which is what we really want. We want to have that knowing and and that ability to trust ourselves. So, it's like, if we can find ways to people that are teaching that or people that can help us do that, then anybody who's interested or wants to even to dip their toes in it to discover, well, I maybe I don't have, or I don't think I do, but maybe I do, or I'd really like to develop my intuition or my psychic abilities, then and there's lots of people teaching programs and classes, but I would like to say we have a great teacher. I'm very excited about Sarah teaching the new program. It's been revised, upgraded, new and revised, and I would just like to, you know, bring that to awareness. Looks like we got somebody else here too. So I'm happy to have some interactions. Ah, Maureen. Yeah, hang on. I'm gonna put your little thing there. Yeah, sometimes I don't trust my knowing. Yeah, I understand that. So just a little thing around the knowing. Sometimes we think it's our knowing, and it's actually not because it's like, we're trying to understand something, we're trying to figure something out, and we have a feeling or a sense so that we think, oh, that's my knowing. But here's what happens. Your knowing comes from deep inside. Okay, so when you're feeling and you're trying to decipher, is that my knowing? Oh, I don't trust it or whatever. But where did it come from? Okay, what I mean by that is when I get a knowing, people, it comes up. It comes into my body, like in the core, and it rises up like this. When it's my mind thoughts trying to understand and figure out and thinking I got the knowing, it's all up here and you can feel it. So it kind of drops down into awareness rather than rising up through awareness. Okay. So little things to just play with, practice with. And then two, you know, um, trusting your knowing is something that takes time, and you're what you're doing is you're developing your own relationship to your own self. Okay, relationship to you, to you're getting a sense of what is your knowing telling you. I mean, I've had many situations where I would have a feeling, a sense, that there was something happening, something coming, not good, but my mind couldn't understand it, so I didn't know what to do. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't know what it is, but I feel something. I feel it. I feel it. So all I could do was just kind of wait to see what started to present. So sometimes that does happen. And for me personally, the ability to feel and sense things is like, it's like, it's my whole life. Okay. It's my life. So even going to the grocery store or just doing anything, sometimes you just have this knowing or sense, oh, slow down or turn here or, you know, keep going, whatever. But, it's with us because it's like once we start opening up to our own intuition and our psychic abilities, what we're also doing is we're aligning with our own higher levels who are always guiding us. Okay. So that consciousness that we are, that we're not aware of in our body that is actually always working for us, that also begins to get developed and open. So, intuition can be used in ways like, ooh, you met somebody and you like them, but something you're feeling something. What are you going to pay attention to? Okay. Or maybe you want to get a sense of, and you can check out their energy. Seriously, once you start having those of your abilities start opening up, you can start really checking out and checking people out. And that way it's like, okay, yeah, I really like this person. I'm really drawn to them, but is it going to be a wound mate, like a deep unconscious wound mate? Or is there something, something different? And then, well, wait a second. Let me just take a look at this person's energy. Let's look at their heart energy. What kind of issues are they having? So, for us being sensitives and also having the ability to see and sense energies through the different ways in which we actually gather and get information and the senses, it just helps us to make better choices. You know what I mean? It's like it's like if I'm drawn to somebody and I take a look and I go, oh, wait a second, we got some really unconscious wounding. You know, it's better to walk away. So I've done that many times. In fact, just recently, um, I met somebody at a restaurant, and the person definitely wanted to connect with me and all of that, but everything in me knew this person's like not healthy. Like, it's just not a really unhealthy, wounding, unconsciousness, all kinds of stuff. So, I'm happy to be a friend, not like a close friend where I'm going to hang out with you, but, someone that says hi or whatever. But I'm not going to be hanging out with someone that doesn't serve in some way higher vibrational frequency. So the ability to sense energy is beneficial to us. Okay. So, um, yeah, I just wanted to bring some awarenesses, about some of the reasons why. Why would we want to be intuitive? Why would we want to develop our psychic abilities and our intuition? Well, I have to tell you, the ability to sense energy is actually in my reality is vital. If I can't sense something, then I'm lost, and I'll be making choices and decisions based on the unknowing and probably go with the wounding rather than the heart. So lots and lots of different reasons, and finding out, like, it's really fun. I remember for me, when I started doing readings, I would just get everybody I could, my family, anybody who'd let me do a reading on them. I was doing that, just because it was just, for me, it was exciting. I was thrilled. It was like I was hungry for it. So, and then I have to say, look where I am now. And I had people telling me, oh, you can't make a living being a psychic. I had many people telling me that. Well, I did. I raised my kids being a psychic, you know, all of it. So it was pretty awesome, and it still is. I wouldn't give up my psychic abilities for anything. So anyway, I just want to, just share a little bit about all that, and why would anybody want to develop their psychic abilities? What's the benefit? Well, there's massive benefits. The ability to really start opening up to your own knowing, which is another major part of it, is that connecting to the knowing. So I'm going to post, like, we're just going to post it here. We do have a Intuitive View, which is a psychic development program led by Sarah, who I'm very, very thrilled to have her teaching it. She shared some things with me about, like, she heard about me years ago, and she started just studying me. It was like a kind of shock, like, what? What? So she's studying me, and then she's watching, like, she'd come to clearings and everything she could attend just to see, how am I doing it? What am I doing? So, she's really devoted herself, kind of like me, to developing her skills and abilities that absolutely have to do with her ability to be intuitive on many levels. And now she'll be teaching. So I'm just going to share that link just in case anybody would like to check it out if they see this video. Um, yeah, there we go. Yeah. So anyway, just wanted to jump on and share my experience of that kind of stuff and why I'm on board for people developing their own intuition and psychic abilities. So hopefully this was beneficial. Thanks for showing up, Maureen. And thanks. Hang on. Who was? I just saw your Nikki. Right, Nikki. Thanks for showing up, you guys. But yeah, so I get that. I understand the whole thing, not trusting your own knowing. But again, pay attention to where it's coming from, and then also pay attention to the thoughts. You know what I mean? Like when you're trying, see, we get in our own way, people, okay? So we get a knowing and then we start questioning it, okay? So what if you just felt the knowing, keep focusing on the knowing and just what and then move in the direction of that. So here's another piece that happened for me. When I first started doing readings, I was like seeing stuff, okay? And then my mind's going, am I making this up? Where's this coming from? You know, is this real? And so what I would do is I would just deliver whatever it was. And I trusted that if it's not right, I'll find out, I'll discover, I'll learn that it wasn't correct. Okay. But that's how I started being able to trust my own abilities because I would see things. And even to this day, I see stuff thinking I couldn't make that stuff up. Okay. And I really couldn't. But you know, the questioning, like, am I really seeing this? Is this really true, real? So I would just speak it out loud, and then people would, you know, yeah, they did, you know, give the let me know that yeah, that was right on and affirming and that type of thing. So it was validating. So I'd get validated. I remember one time I was doing a healing on this one woman, and this man presented. He had a hat on and a suit. His name, he told me his name was Frank. So, you know, again, I'm like, am I seeing something? And, you know, so anyway, I told her, I said, well, there's a man here. He's an older man. He's got a hat on. His name is Frank. That was her grandfather. Okay. I didn't know that, but he presented. And so rather than not saying anything, I just released it. And that's another thing too, is as you share and talk, whatever information you're getting, um, then more information will come. So that's another component of when we start using our abilities, the we have to release what we're seeing, you know, speak it out loud, tell them what we're seeing, and then more information will be available. So that's kind of cool too. So um, yeah, so if anybody has any questions here, I'm happy to answer anything. Hey Laura, welcome. I'm just kind of talking about intuition and psychic abilities and why it's important, how it can change our lives, and why would we want to develop those skills or abilities. So for me, I'm telling you, it was, it was the most, I was so passionate and so excited about it, you know. And then I found out, then I found out about entities. Oh my God, that was a game changer. Okay, hang on a second. Let me see what Maureen is saying. If thoughts have energy, is it possible to scan them for a high level of integrity? Okay, let me feel into what you're saying. If thoughts have energy, thoughts. Okay, yeah. If it's possible to scan them, right? Okay, yeah. Yeah, you can. You can scan thoughts. If you're talking about like your own thoughts or somebody else's thoughts, it's a little easier to scan somebody else's thoughts. But for your own, um, when you're feeling into your thoughts and you know you're checking in scanning, you can feel these are like, you know, not quite high integrity, they're lower level kinds of thoughts, that kind of stuff. And then you can also, like, you can take your awareness and you can be looking at higher integrity because it's actually inside of you, just so you understand. When you look at and really get that, when you sense and know who you really are. Okay, so like for example, when I look at people and I go beyond all their wounding, okay, beyond the wounding, and check in and I go into the very core. That's where I see the light, their light, the light that is inside of everyone, and it's a pure frequency, high level frequency. So what you can also do is feel into your own light, feel into your own self, and go deep. What I mean by that is not in the worry stresses, but taking your awareness to that still point, like when you bring your awareness, come right into your heart and just be there in the stillness. But it's also an awareness. You're in the state of awareness without agitation. And then from that place, look at, what you really want to speak or what it is that you want to share. And from there, you will be coming from a much more integrated integrity, higher level, pure heart love, unconditional love frequency. So it won't be coming from the mind chatter, the emotional wounding, negativity, things of that nature. So that's another way that you can actually do things. All righty. Okay, well, I just wanted to kind of jump on, or not kind of, I just wanted to jump on here and just share a little bit about psychic information, intuitives. Why would we want to develop ours? So, like I said, for me, it was the greatest thing I ever did. All right, everyone. Thank you for showing up. Thanks for being here. Thanks for interacting with me. Oh, Susan. Hey, girl. Always good to see you, sweetie. I don't know if you were here to hear about what I was doing, but I was just talking about all the, psychic stuff, intuition, and my excitement around for me when I started doing that back in 1984. So it changed my life. Seriously, changed my life. Actually, just so y'all know, that came doing the psychic development happened for me just a couple months after I made the decision not to check out. Okay, not to, you have no idea, but I was done. I was done, and I was leaving. And there was something that happened that changed my mind. But then it was like 2 months later, I got involved in my developing my awarenesses, intuition, all of that. And then what happened? Look, I mean, seriously, you have no idea, you guys. I was always fucking destitute. Okay, you know, struggle, and it was by doing this kind of work that was my passion. It became my passion. I'm not saying that everyone's going to have that same kind of passion, of course, but for me, it was a game. It was a life. It was life changing. So I went from I'm out of here. I'm leaving. I'm leaving. Checking out. Taking my life. Done. To here I am now. Pretty cool, actually. All right. I just want to see. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you all. Seriously, thank you. Appreciate you all being here. And Susan, it's always awesome to see you. You've been around for a while, girl. Thanks for those hugs. Yeah. So, what can I say? It's like I followed my whatever I was guided. I followed, stayed on the planet, and now I help other people make a difference in lots of other people's lives. So you too may want to do that or not, or just do it for yourself. So anyway, just plug in, our Intuitive You with Sarah. So yeah, if you got people that are interested, let them know. Let them help them to help them. Oh, you did? Okay, Susan, cool. All right, cool. All right, everyone. Thank you. Much love. Feel so much love. Thank you. All righty.